After 6 months of being unemployed, I finally found a full-time job. Yay! Finding a job in this market is really hard, and my heart goes out to you if you're struggling to find a job right now. Something that I've been doing since I started applying for internships 2 years ago was that I would keep a tracker of all of the applications that I've put in. In this tracker, I include the company name, the title of the position, where it's located, and sometimes even the job code in their website. I also include an entire copy of the job description as well. This is really helpful because sometimes companies will shut down the job portal before you even get to interview, and so you've lost all of that data of what they're looking for. This has really helped me prepare for interviews and also just to know the types of jobs that I'm applying for as well. I split mine up into 6 different sections. The first 4 of them were certain companies that I was always looking at to try and get a job, and they were like my dream companies. The next one I made was more specific to the industry that I was applying in. I want to work in creative marketing, and so I put a separate sheet for all of the jobs that I applied for at different agencies. And the last one, which by far was the biggest one, was just an etc. sheet where it was all the miscellaneous jobs that I could apply for. So once I started getting more interviews, I realized that I should probably be keeping track of when they were and what happened and how they went. So I made an interview tracker. This includes the job, who I spoke to usually, the date it happened, the type of method that we called on, notes on the actual interview, and to see if I got moved on or denied. This is super helpful because sometimes people take eons to get back to you. Having all of this information really made sure that I could stay on top of messaging back the recruiters and all the people who interviewed me to make sure that I was doing my due diligence to get a job. In total, I ended up doing 17 interviews. It was really great to have all of this information, and I'm really glad that something panned out. The last thing I did, kind of just to put a number to something, was to calculate all of the companies I applied at, how many jobs I applied for at each company, and calculate the total of the amount of jobs that I applied for. If you're not familiar with Excel or Google Sheets, then this might be a little bit complicated, but trust me, it's really easy to do. Basically, what I did was create a bunch of pivot tables, and in those pivot tables, I put the names of the companies that I applied for, and next to it, the number of jobs that I applied for. I did this for each sheet, so I had one specifically for the etc. jobs, the agency jobs, and then the jobs for the dream companies I had. When making the pivot table, I made sure to do these columns. For rows, I put the company, and in values, I put the position as a count number, so it showed up as a number, not the specific type of job I applied for. And then I made a formula by adding those specific numbers to show the amount of jobs that I had applied for in total that I was still waiting on responses from. In total, I ended up having 218 applications in at the time that I got my job. And trust me, there's probably about 100 companies that denied me. I know that this might be a lot of work, but it's really important to make sure that you have all of the information necessary to be successful in your job interviews. I truly feel like without this sheet, I would not have been prepared enough for any of these interviews.